So we are going to discuss that what are the things which would be covering in this training and what would be the model of this training. Okay, and how that training would be delivered. What are the things in sourcing and procurement in 1909 we would be covering. So basic ground rule first, guys, make sure you keep yourself muted if you are not speaking. If you want to speak, just put it on a question on the chat window. So what we do is that, because a lot of people have the same kind of question. So what I do initially, the initial part of the this demo, I would be covering that stuff which everybody is having a question. What would be shared, what kind of documents would be shared, what kind of whether the recordings would be shared, and all of these kind of standard questions would be there, which I would be answering it in the first half of this demo. So at this time, please be on muted. If you have some question, please put it on chat area, and then I would be specifically asking for a question and answer session. Then we'll ask you to unmute yourself and speak. Even if you are not in that session, also if you are not speaking, please make sure you muted your phone, because there are a lot of background noises comes up which disturbs everyone. So please make a note of that thing. If you guys are facing any issues, there is a number given here, 9799088219. You can drop a message, you can drop a WhatsApp message. Our support team will connect with you, and they will try to see that what kind of issue you are facing in this session, and they would be able to help you to resolve it. If you are having any question queries which is not answered in the session, or post session also, if you're having any questions and queries, you can write an email to support@sastrageek.com. So if you want to check more details about our trainings, you can visit our website www.sastrageek.com, and you can also see the details of this training and all other trainings which we provide. So first of thing, quickly I will be introducing myself. There are a lot of audience here which would be having a first time interaction with me, although there are a lot of participants are there who are coming from my previous batches. Okay, but let me introduce myself for the people who are interacting first time with me. So guys, I am Parminder Singh, and I have basically around 14 years of experience on SAP. I started my career as a SAP PP consultant, and then I have worked on the multiple different modules, basically focusing on the logistics side. So I played a multiple different roles as a solution architect, as a project manager, as a consultant, design lead, and I also handled basically SD, MM, PP, and logistics side of modules I have handled. So I have worked in the ECC projects. Mostly all projects are implementation projects, and I have also done uh, two end-to-end S4HANA implementation, and I have been involved in multiple SAP S4HANA implementation as a subject matter expert, or Activate coach, or as a solution architect. Right now, I'm working as a freelancer, where basically I divide my 50% of the work to the projects, and 50% of the work I spend on the trainings. My training experience is more than 7 years now. I started actually training on the basic modules of PP, SD, MM. On ECC, I started my training those things. And then when HANA came in, I switched my profile. I have worked on a couple of projects on HANA as an analytical tool. So I have also provided training on that. And when SAP S4 HANA came in, I learned SAP S4 HANA, I worked on the projects, and then I also started SAP S4 HANA simple logistics training, which got hit in the market, and we have done around 30 plus batches I have done as a personal batches, and around 40 plus corporate batches we have done. So I provide a personal training. So this is a batch for a personal training which is going to start. And I also provide a lot of corporate trainings. I'm helping a lot of lead consultancies to develop their capabilities on SAP S4HANA. My focus would be on logistics, SD, MM, PP, or around the logistics, whatever the changes are there that we combine together in a simple logistics training. So that kind of training I provide. I also provided the boot camps. I also provided Delta training. So multiple trainings I have provided. And to make myself upgraded, I am certified with all of the SAP S4HANA certifications, whether it's a project manager certification, sales certifications, procurement, manufacturing, process integration, and I'm also certified as a PMP certified project manager. So that is, a little bit brief about myself so that you guys feel confident that you are on the safe hands. I have plenty of experience providing a training. Now I will be jumping ahead back to our deck and we will be checking. So now we will be going ahead with some standard questions which everyone you would be having. So you would be having a generic question, so let me cover that part first, that what is this training about? So this is a training on SAP S4HANA sourcing and procurement training. So this is a sourcing and procurement training. So this is a training on SAP S4HANA procurement 1909, sourcing and procurement. So earlier in ECC, the module name was materials management. So whether you call it as a material management MM or whether you call it as a sourcing and procurement in S4HANA, the basic stuff is same. Okay, it's the same procurement cycles, it's the same sourcing cycles, but a lot of new function and feature has been added. So the core is same. The core is the procurement process where you need to create purchase requisition, purchase orders, invoicing need to happen, GR need to happen. That core remains same, whether you call it as a material management or sourcing and procurement. But in SAP S4HANA sourcing and procurement, new function and feature has been added. Fury has been added, a new function and features. A lot of new Fury applications, analytics, and vendor evaluation, new workflows for the approval. Those things has been added new, which would be covered in this training. So in this training, we are only covering sourcing and procurement. Okay, whenever we call it the other part which I have said about the simple logistics, the simple logistics basically in our course we are covering the delta part, that if any consultant who is already trained on PP, MM or SD modules in ECC, they want to upgrade themselves to S4HANA. So that is the delta part. So in the logistics area in S4HANA, what are the things has been covered? We only cover that. So this is a full end-to-end certification training where basically we will be starting from very scratch. Okay, even though you are not having any SAP experience, that is also the freshers can also join it. Simple logistics is only for the experienced one. So here the freshers can also join. We'll be starting from very scratch, explaining you what is SAP, what is ERP, what is S4HANA, what a functional consultant do, what a technical consultant do, how a project runs. Then we'll be doing a basic configurations. All sourcing and procurement cycle will be run, basic configurations, master data would be done. So you can see the 4 columns which we have highlighted. And then we'll also make sure that we'll prepare you for the certification. The certification code is Ts452 Sourcing and Procurement. So this course would be only focusing on sourcing and procurement. The freshers can also come and join this course because we would be starting the things from scratch. Okay, so exactly who can join this training? So let me answer that. So what we are saying, because it's a basic sourcing and procurement training, all of the people who are working in domain, they have a domain experience, they have never worked on SAP or they have worked on SAP as end user. They would be able to join this training and they would be able to run end-to-end S4HANA Simple Logistics. Now, So all of the domain people who wants to learn SAP working on sourcing and procurement can join this session. Even though there is no SAP experience, they don't have any SAP experience. No SAP experience is required, no SAP knowledge is required. If you are come as a blank slate, that also will work. Anyone who want to start their career as a SAP S4HANA sourcing and procurement consultant can join this course. All experienced technical and functional people, the people who has worked on SD, people who have worked on PP, okay, all of these peoples who has worked on SD, PP, people who has worked on ABAP and know little bit of MM, they want to get themselves trained on the cross-functional modules, which is in high in demand. The people who know the multiple modules are high in demand. The technical people who also know one of the functional people, we call them as a techno-functional, they are high in demand. So those people also can join this course to learn SAP S4HANA sourcing and procurement. Your delivery managers or solution architects, if they want to upgrade themselves with the sourcing and procurement knowledge on SAP S4HANA, they can also join this course.
Excuse me.
Yes, sorry.
Sorry to interrupt. This is Sagar here. Uh, you are explaining about who can join this learning journey. I mean, this training course. Is it 1 hour training today, or it will be a continuous one?
So this is a demo session for our training, which is starting from the next week. The trainings are starting from the next week, and this is a demo session where we are explaining
Okay.
what we cover in the training.
Okay, understood. So I am a guy who works in a technical engineering field. So if I want to switch to S4 HANA, so is it a correct session which I am attending, or do I need something else to do first?
You are in the correct session. You are in the correct session. That's what I am explaining, that
Oh,
who are the people. You are the operational guy. You want to jump into SAP. So you are in the correct session. This training would be from the scratch. We'll be explaining it, and you would be able to do the stuff here. You would be able to learn SAP S4HANA sourcing and procurement end to end. So these I have basically explained that who are the key people who can join us, who can join this journey. So anyone who is having a minimum experience or no experience in SAP, working in operations, want to work in sourcing and procurement, can join this training. The only prerequisite is that if you know the basic sourcing and procurement processes, that would be good. You would be able to easily cop up. Even though if you don't know the basic sourcing and procurement processes, any process we start explaining it, we start from very scratch. We start from very scratch so that you would be able to follow. Now I am going to cover that what are the things which we are going to cover in this training, little bit in detail, that what topics we are going to cover. So people are having a questions whether Ariba would be covered or another things would be covered. I'm getting so many questions on the chat window. So a lot of questions is going to answer here. Okay, so this is a basic training. This is not an advanced training. So we are not covering any part of the Ariba, but we would be covering that what function features Ariba provide. So that part we would be covering. But apart from that, we would not be covering anything on the Ariba, because within sourcing and procurement also it would go, this training would go up to 2.5 months. Ariba is a separate module where again you need to do around 2 months of training. So what we are going to do, so as we said, we'll be starting from scratch. We'll be starting with the SAP introduction. What is SAP? What is ERP? What kind of different modules we have? How these different modules get integrated with each other? What is MM? What is sourcing and procurement? How sourcing and procurement get linked with finance, production planning, and another modules? That kind of things we'll be discussing it here. What is the organization structure in SAP? What is the client? What is the company code? What is the purchase organization? That basic stuff would be discussed here. and we would be doing our configuration from scratch. So in this course, whoever would be joining, we will be providing exercises where you need to implement, do the configuration of your SAP system from scratch, starting from your company code creation, all your procurement configuration. We'll also ask you to do a little bit of FI configurations because this would be a standalone system. So you need to set up FI so that you can run your end-to-end scenario. But hands-on exercise would be given to you so that you can easily do it. Then we'll be setting up all of our master data. Then we'll be running a scenario. So here in this chapter, all of the basic part would be covered so that the people who are coming from non-SAP background, they also come on the same platform. And a very important thing which we are covering here is Fiori. Fiori, even the people who are coming from SAP backgrounds, 90% of the people has not worked on Fiori. So we cover the basics of Fiori because all of the scenarios which we will be running in this training would be on Fiori. Okay, we'll also run on the GUI, but we'll be focusing more on the Fiori because that is a new part. So once this basic part is covered, then we'll be covering our master data for sourcing and procurement, what master data we require, what configuration required for that master data, and we'll be creating our master data. So once configuration, basic configuration and master data is done, we'll be jumping into our procurement processes. We'll run our end-to-end procurement processes in Fiori as well as in GUI. And we'll also do the variants here that if we create a procurement process with a valuated material or with the non-valuated material, or if we procure a service, or if you want to procure a text material. So all kind of this different scenarios will be running it. If you want to do a vendor return, all kind of these different scenarios will be doing it. And then we'll be jumping on the specific configuration to do these scenarios. We'll jump into a little bit more of the configuration side to discuss that what is the document types, item categories, account assignment categories, and how the FI and MM integration is there, how that configuration need to be done, how we can control the outputs where the emails can be generated to your vendors. Okay, so that, and how the price would be determined. So that kind of stuff would be discussed. Once that part is done, we would be quickly covering the inventory management. So inventory management has been covered in this. We'll be quickly covering the inventory management. We'll be, after covering inventory management, we'll be jumping into the planning side, where basically we'll discuss about the MRP, which is a combined area between MM and PP. So we'll be seeing that how the sourcing logic works, how the MRP works, and how the source has been identified. Purchasing info records, we'll be discussing about details about the scheduling agreements and contacts, source list, how MRP area would be used for your subcontracting scenario. So that part would be covered in detail. Then we'll be jumping into your invoice verification processes and would be covering the invoice verification part. And then special procurement processes would be covered if you want to create a blanket purchase order. Approval, how the new Fiori workflow approval would be working, will be covering it. New vendor evaluation, how it would be covered, how to do the vendor evaluation, how to give the scoring to the vendors, and how to generate analytics out of it. That will be covering it. Okay, subcontracted processing would be covering it. So in this training, we have combined two things together. One thing, what is the certification content, plus second thing, to work as a consultant, what kind of knowledge you require. To work as a consultant in a project, what kind of knowledge you require. So when you land in a project, you would be having a sufficient hands-on and you would be having a project specific knowledge, plus the motive is also to get the certification clear. So both things has been combined together and we have prepared the curriculum so that you can get certified, and you can also jump after completing this course. You can also jump into any project and take a role of SAP S/4HANA sourcing and procurement consultant. Okay. So anybody has, let me take a quick pause here. If somebody has any question on this course curriculum, that what we are going to cover here, any question on that, if you're having, you can ask it. You can put in the chat window, or you can also unmute. I am having a question from Nainesh that whether we'll be covering a WM. No, WM would not be covered here, but we would be covering the high level of EWM integration with MM. That high level EWM integration would be covered. WM is now outdated tool, that would be covered. PIRs are plant independent requirements. Question is from Kapil. Yes, we would be covering. I have mentioned the planning session where the MRP has been mentioned. There it would be covered. If it is purchase info records, that also has been clearly mentioned in the chapter. We'll be covering it. Yes, Fiori apps, definitely. I will also show you some apps in this demo session also. Fiori apps is the main thing which we'll be doing it here. All the scenarios which we'll be doing is only on the Fiori. I use GUI because what happens that after some time, after getting trained here, the people need to work on the ECC projects also. So 90% things is same, but in ECC projects, Fiori would not be there. So you need to work on GUI. So that's why we cover both GUI and Fiori, but our major focus is on Fiori. Central procurement is not part of this course because it's an advanced topic. It's part of our simple logistics course. So neither certification cover this, nor we have covering this. We cover this in our simple logistics one. But if you need a high level overview, that definitely I can provide.
Hey,
Self-purchase requisition, self-invoicing has been covered.
Hey, Parminder, is Nainesh here?
Yeah, Nainesh.
So what about the server access and the material for the certification for?
Yeah, just hold on. I would be coming to that point. That is part of the question. Any question you have related to this course curriculum? That I will be. Yes, please.
Sir, thank you for the presentation. My question, if I already know the SAP ERP MMM, because I take a course before and this, is that will help?
If you already know MM, this course will help you to know about what are the things which is new in SAP S4HANA. Fiori part and procurement has a lot of new things. The total processes has been innovated with SAP S4HANA. Your RFQ process, then creation of the purchase order, manage purchase orders, the approval of the purchase order, analytics, those all are the things which is not there in ECC. So you would be able to upgrade yourself from ECC MM to SAP S4HANA sourcing and procurement. It will help you in that respect.
Hello, Parminder, Tejas here.
Yeah, Tejas.
Yeah, from certification point of view, what is upgraded in curriculum that is from 1809 to 1909?
So now in 1909, SAP has put it a two separate certification. Earlier, there was only a single certification which was for upskilling. So upskilling certification we cover in simple logistics training. So now this is a Ts452 certification. There's a two certification, Ts452 and Ts450. Ts450 is the people who already know ECC and they want to upgrade themselves to S4HANA. That is a certification. Ts452, which we are covering here, is a new certification for the consultant who is learning MM or sourcing of procurement first time. Rather than first getting certified in ECC, then doing upskilling certification, there is a direct certification has been launched. So this is pure MM certification. You can say earlier we were having a certification in ECC and now we are having a certification in S4HANA for MM.
Okay. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, guys, let me quickly proceed ahead. Yes, I would be clearly identifying and telling you whatever the functionalities has been changed. If I'm using one functionality, I will be telling you that this functionality was not available the same manner in ECC. That part I will be definitely telling you. David, you can ask your question. I see your hand is raised.
Sorry, Parminda.
Yes.
Just explain briefly what is a Fiori.
Yeah, I would be jumping into the Fiori to show you quickly what is a Fiori. Fiori is a new user interface which work on web and the mobile devices. So I would be jumping into that so that you would be having a quick view that what is Fiori and how Fiori would be working. So earlier we were working on only on the desktops, right? Now if you want to work on mobile, we have applications for each of the transaction which can work on mobile or web browser also. SAP can be accessed. Okay, now people are asking the question about schedule. So I'm pausing the question and answer session. Guys, please go on mute. Now I'm jumping so that the common questions related to schedule and other part can be quickly answered. So batch schedule and timings. So let's go into that. What would be the batch schedule and what would be the timings? So this is a weekend course. We would be running Saturday and Sunday, same time which we are running today. Each Saturday, Sunday, same time. So for India region, it's the timing is 8 p.m. India Standard Time, and for US Canada region or in the CST, it would be 9:30 a.m. So you can check your time zones. It would be the same time we are starting today, every Saturday and Sunday. The first class would be on upcoming Saturday. On 30th, we will be having a first class. So you need to go ahead. You can sign up yourself before that so that you would be able to join the class on 30th May. This course we try to cover in 2 months of the time, but from the previous experience, it can easily take 2.5 months. All of the courses I tried to cover in 2 months, but it take most of the MM course took 2.5 months. Some cases little more also. If the participants are having a more questions, we go into the discussion mode. We don't restrict people to ask the questions. So in that discussion mode, sometimes more time has been taken. So roughly on an average, it takes 2.5 months to cover the course. Okay, so that is about the schedule. And then let me jump back. Mode of the training, how the training would be provided. So this training is an online training, okay, but this would be very interactive training. In this training, basically we follow the mode where basically it will not be a training based on the PPT. It would be a feel of the training as you are doing in the classrooms. Okay, we follow the whiteboard and the blackboard concepts where rather than going through the slides, I would be going through the, I would be opening a blackboard and I would be writing there, putting some diagrams to explain you. Okay, so this is just an example of our simple logistics batch which is going on. So we create this kind of cockpit and we will be sharing with you where all of the details would be there, that what is the date and time, what are the topics which has been covered in that session, okay, and what is the session link. So session link also, the access of this page would be granted to you, and based on that you would be able to access it, you would be able to join the meetings. It would be having a schedules. All the videos has been recorded and uploaded. You would be having access for those videos for 1 year. So you would be able to see all of the recorded videos. Every videos would be recorded and in 24 hours it would be shared. And then we'll also be sharing a session notes. So you need not to prepare your notes during the session. We will be doing everything for you and we will be sharing it. So the session notes would be prepared and would be shared with you. So all the scribbling which I do during the course would be shared. Just giving you a quick example. So this kind of trainings happens. So I explain a lot of things on the whiteboard and the blackboards by writing it so that you can have a same feeling that you are sitting in a classroom. Okay, and these all scribbling would be shared with you. So very few presentation has been covered. Only I cover around, I have a full deck of 300 slides which would be shared. Okay, but we don't go through those slides. Those is only for reference. The training we do it here is basically on this whiteboards. There will be, I will be opening a whiteboard and I will be explaining a concept by writing diagrams on it. So this is the way we will be doing it. And all of these materials will be shared with you through this portal, which you are seeing now. All the important links, which is important for you, all the important T codes, we also capture it and we give it to you so that it would be easy for you. You need not to note down each and everything, taking a screenshots during this training. You can just focus on the trainings. So this is just the material for the Fiori training, which we are having. So we have also covered Fiori in very detail. So all of this Fiori learning also will be taking it. So the people who are having a little bit question on the Fiori, so this is the Fiori sessions we have here. We have covered the things in detail. So you can see this is the Fiori screen. I will also show in the real time that how the Fiori looks, but this is the Fiori screen. And we'll be doing our, most of the things would be happening on Fiori itself. So this is the part that how the things would be covered. All the session recordings you would be having. All the session notes will be shared with you, and you would be having access for 1 year. For both of things, the access would be there for 1 year. Let me switch back to our presentation. What is the next thing I need to cover? What is available in this package? What are the things you would be getting it if you get this training? What are the things you would be getting it? So this is the page basically where you can also go and subscribe. The costing part you can clearly see here. There's nothing to hide from anyone. So it would be around $350 if you pay in US dollar. If you pay through this link in INR option, it would be 25,000. So what would be covered in this? You would be getting all interactive sessions. All sessions are interactive sessions would be happening. And we guarantee you will be getting an unmatched experience where you will not get in any another online training. You would be sitting in online training without feeling that it's an online training. All trainings would be covered from starting from the scratch. We start from the scratch. We make sure all people comes on the same platform, and then we take a deep dive into those things. There is not a presentation mode. It's, as I explained, it's a blackboard mode training. Either most of the time we'll be using a system or a blackboard to explain the things. The practice service is available on demand. We have reduced the prices of our cost, prices of the course like anything. So the server has not been included because most of the students comes up and they say they don't require server. They're already having a server. Okay, and they would or they're getting a server from outside, which is quite cheaper. So we have excluded the server. So server is not included the price. Server would be given on demand. Whoever wants to have a server can take it from us. We charge 3,500 INR per month. If you are getting a server from outside, which is more cheaper, you can go ahead and take. If you are having system access from your project, you can also use that. Okay. One free thing which we are including is the SAP certification preparation. So we have created a fantastic mock-up exam tool, which almost the MM certification exam almost costs around 6,000 rupees, which we are giving free of cost with that. I would be jumping into that to show you that how you would be able to use the tool for the certification preparation. Guys, just give me 5 minutes. We'll be jumping back into the question and answer session. Just give me a minute. Sorry, guys. Okay, I'm quickly jumping into the question and answer session again. Let me cover this certification, that how we would be helping you to get certified. So two things would be shared. All the PDF books would be shared. Okay, whatever is required to study it. But even though if you don't want to read the PDF books, although we highly recommend you go through and read those PDF books. But even though if you don't want to read, if you revise the videos 2 to 3 times, and then you go and do this mock test simulation, you do it, you would be able to crack the certification like very easily. It would be a kind of a cakewalk for you. So let me cover first the books part, that what kind of books would be covered. And then we would be jumping into the certification part, that in certification, what other things would be covered. So the books we share it, all other materials would be shared through the website which we are having, sastrageek.com. We would be giving a specific pages access to you to access the things. The books would be shared through the Google Drive, and the books would be, you would be able to download them. Books are free to downloadable. Rest all materials would be having a specific access for 1 year. So these all books, which is SAP standard books, would be provided. These are the books for SAP S/4HANA 1909 certification preparation. Now jumping into the certification part, what do we have in the certification preparation? How we would be helping you to get yourself prepared for certification. So within a Sastrageek solution, we provide a solutions where basically you can do the certification simulation exactly in the same way as it happens as a SAP certification. So we are having a SAP S/4HANA certification test series. So this test series is included. There is no additional charges for this. If you take this course, this would be given to you as a free of cost. So there would be a lot of different kind of, you can see it here, topics we have covered. So we have given you the full 80 question test, 40 question test, and then specific tests which are the on the specific topics. So if you are good with the configuration, you have learned the configuration, you want to check your knowledge, you can give this test. If you want to, we have done the inventory management session, you want to check your knowledge on inventory management, you can take this test. Master data and org structure we have done. So topics wise test is there, and the full question 40 and 80 question test is also there. So I will be taking you to that simulation of that how this test works. Okay, so let me go into this certification preparation tab here. You can also go into check your knowledge. So these are some free tests available. So you can go check your knowledge, and you can go to the sourcing and procurement. You need to sign in. You need to just provide your email ID and password need to be created so that you can log into the tool and you would be able to run the test. So once you have run the test, the score will be coming. The score you would be able to check it from the test reports. So I'm just login. Once you are enrolled here, you will be having a login access to this tool. So from here, you would be able to log in. So I need to just put my login credential here. And here, all of the tests which has been assigned, we are having around 9 different tests in sourcing and procurement. Everything would be assigned here. I have already attempted this configuration test. Let's say I want to reattempt. So this exactly works in the same way as it works in a SAP test, SAP certification test. So we would be also asking you, as soon as we cover the topics, we'll be asking you to take this specific test so that parallelly you are also prepared. So the same way, there would be a clock which is running. You need to complete the questions based on the clock. I'm just randomly putting some answers so that I can show you that how the things would be appearing here. Okay, how this tool would be happening. Let me try to submit test. Submit. So as soon as you submit the test, it would be showing how many marks you have got. It shows me I have got 40% of the marks. Okay. I have attempted 7 questions. This is the time I have taken, only 0.42 seconds I have taken. Total question set. The full report is a very excellent tool available, which will be showing you the full report, and then you can go to your scorecard. You can also compare the other students who has given this test. Where do you stand? What is your percentile? You can also go to the solution report. Solution report is again a fantastic thing which has been given. You can get it dumps outside on a very cheap basis, but what you don't get it, whether the answer is right or wrong, which they have given. There is no explanation to it. What we have given, our most of the questions would be coming with the explanation. So this is the question, and in this question, the correct answer is this one. Why this is the correct answer? So we have also given a screenshot that which will be explaining you that this answer is why this is the correct answer. So most of the question you will see the explanation has been given, SPRO paths has been given, where you can actually check that what has the question has been asked and what is the exact answer. So the solutions has been explained. So that you would be getting it. So it is not only that you are just practicing it, you can get also a lot of knowledge by going through this tool. You would be brushing up a lot of knowledge because the screenshots are there and explanations are there. It would be explaining briefly that what question has been asked and why the specific answer is the correct answer. Okay, so that is a brief on the certification. So we have covered all the generic questions which generally people have. I am jumping again to people who was having a question and questions related to what materials would be shared, what other things. So if you have any question which has not been covered as a generic question, mode of training, how it would be happening, when it would be happening, what is the charges, or any other generic question you are having, you can quickly ask.
Hi, is Nilesh here? A quick question.
Yeah, Nilesh.
Yeah, why should I join training with you? What is the advantage of getting from you rather than other institute? I can see one disadvantage, you're not providing the server access. If you have to get, I have to pay extra for that one. So if you can explain like what is the advantage to join training with you rather than other institute out there?
Yeah, you can join any institute. You can get trained from any institute. As I have explained, the most of the people just check before you are joining it. They call it as a SAP S4 HANA or procurement training, and they run the complete training on GUI. The advanced topics has not been covered. Fury has not been covered. The advanced workflow logics has not been covered. Okay, the advanced quotation processes which only happen through the Fury has not been covered. What MRP Live does has not been covered. So they don't cover the advanced topics. If you find someone better, I will say that please go ahead, don't wait it. If you have something better deal, you are getting it, please go ahead and join it. If server is your preference, you are getting a free server access from somewhere, you can go ahead and join it. We have reduced the charges. So earlier our charges was 45, and then we have reduced the charges as per the request from the students. Many students come back and say that we don't need a server access. We are already working in a project and I am already having access from there. And there are a lot of servers which is available in the market. I'm in the training business from last 7 years. I have worked all of the vendors which is available in market. You can get a server access in 500 rupees also. Go get the server and check the server, what you can get out of that server. It's available in 500 rupees also. Even I have used a server in 300 rupees also, but it doesn't work. It's a waste of time. You would be wasting 3-4 hours of the time and it doesn't work. The basic configurations even has not been done. If the Fury application is not there, you request them to install it, they never respond back. So after having so many years of experience, I have developed a vendor which is responsive. I would not say the system which we provide is a great system, but is an enough system. At least it is enough all the Fiori applications are running, all the scenarios are running, okay, which you can go ahead and do the practice. So because of that kind of decent services, the charges are more. Otherwise, if you don't want to pay for server, I can give you the contact. You can get a server access in 500 rupees. You can go and get it from there.
Oh, that's
Okay.
okay. Actually, yeah. Let me tell you, because I think I have the server, so it's not about. I'm just putting that. What else, basically, compared to getting from you? Because that's my worst question. But that's okay.
Yeah. The other part which nobody is giving you, this certification preparation, the guidance we are giving, the simulation tools which we are providing, the question bank with all the analysis of the questions which we are having, that no one else provide. People just give the dump of the PDFs, go through and crack the certification, which many questions are wrong, which you don't know even right what is the right answer, what is the wrong answer, and explanations are also not there. So that would be the key differentiator.
No, definitely your training is even I just showing the demo is excellent. Probably I'm the experienced senior consultant in MM and WM. I'm thinking probably I'm going to jump with your other one, the simple logistic one, because this is the basic for me. So I'll ping you. I'll send you the email providing the information.
Sure, you can drop an email to support@sastrageek.com, and then we'll be sending the details of the simple logistics one.
Okay, yeah, that would be good. Thank you.
Okay, sure. So how often, I have a question from Kapil, that how often the questions has been refreshed. Question has been refreshed. We try to refresh it as soon as the version get upgraded. If the materials has been upgraded, we also try to refresh the questions to add the new questions. But SAP with the version upgrade, if you compare the certification level, upgrades are very poor. Till 1809, the question was asked related to the 1610 version only. So we try to match that pace, that what kind of question has been asked in the certification. We try to match that pace to compare that the similar kind of questions come. The access would be given to you on demand whenever you would be requesting that access. Okay. So even you have completed your training, and then after 1 month of the training, you come back and say, I need a certification preparation exam. We will be giving in you on that day, and then 3 months would be counted. Okay, so it's on demand. Whenever you will be saying that you need it, we'll be giving it to you.
Hello, sir.
Anirudh has a question related to certification. I have already covered. Yeah, please go ahead. Who is there?
Yeah, sir, I want to ask about the server price for the time during the time of the course. How much it costs from you direct?
Sorry, how much is cost for what? Your voice is breaking.
If I take the server from your side.
Server. So it is in INR. It's around 3,500.
No, US dollar, please. US dollar, please. I'm talking from Saudi Arabia.
Okay, no issues. So if you will calculate in US dollar,
It's 70, right? $1 70 or more.
Yeah, 70. So it's around 3,500 if the rate is of 70. Around $50.
$50 for how long?
For 1 month.
For 1 month. Okay, thank you.
Okay, guys. So if I don't have any, I have a question that whether it would be helpful for existing MM consultant. If the MM consultant are looking to upgrade themselves and also looking for certification, if you have not done a certification so far, so you can use this training to upgrade yourself on the Fiori part, the new things which has been added in sourcing and procurement, and then you would be able to get benefited out of this training. Okay, let me check quickly time and let me see what we can cover quickly in this remaining 10 minutes. Okay, so this is the kind of a whiteboard or blackboard we use it to explain the stuff. So what I'm going to do, I would just show you briefly the part of Fiori. Fiori is something new, even though people are experienced, they don't know the Fiori part. That's what I have experienced. Even many people doesn't know that how does it look like or what is Fiori. So this is what the Fiori would be. Okay, so this is the remote desktop access. If you take a server access, a remote desktop would be given to you. There's no need to install anything. There's no need at all to install anything. You just need to log into that remote desktop. Everything would be available. You need to quickly log in to this Fiori. So here the Fiori login can be done generally in projects also. A links has been provided. So you can see here Fiori 1909. You can double click here, and this will be working on the web browser. We will be working on the Chrome, and we also have a SAP logon pad where we are having 1909 server. Okay, so from the 1909 server, screens which you are familiar of, this screen will open. In ECC also you have a same screen. So let's say our procurement cycle, creating a purchase requisition, purchase order, GR, invoicing, we would be also be doing from this screen, and we would also be doing from this screen, which is our Fiori screen. Don't get confused that it doesn't have a SAP logo. We have customized it. I would be letting you know how to customize it, how to change these colors, how you can put your logo here. So we have put it our company's logo here. So we would be letting you know that how those kind of stuffs can be done with Fiori. Okay, now in this Fiori, so the quick benefits from the Fiori is, so few things I will show you here. The one of the thing is that this search functionality. This is an awesome search functionality which is not available in your ECC. Okay. Let me log in. It is asking my user ID and password. So this kind of search functionalities are not available in your GUI kind of screens. So let's say I'm a new user. I came here first time. What happened in the GUI? What happened in the ECC? You need to train the user first. You need to tell him, even the user ID password has been given to him. First, you need to install logon pad. You need to go to, sometime you would not be having admin access. You need to raise a request. Logon pad would be put it there. Then he need to add his server, and then he need to put his user ID password, and then he will be logging in. To what he would be logging in? He would be logging into this screen where he doesn't understand what to do. Can I do some search? Where to go? Until unless training is not there, user would not be able to do anything. And here in this screen, first thing is that this is a user personalized screen. Based on the role provided, a procurement manager would only be seeing here the tiles which is relevant to the procurement. Nothing else. Only procurement related things he would be seeing. And from here, he can very clearly understand this is a create purchase order. It is not ME21N. What is ME21N? A user want to create a purchase order and we are training him on ME21N, which doesn't relate to the purchase order. It's just a code which they need to remember. Those things are outdated. In Fiori, in S4HANA, we don't train people to learn the transaction or to remember the decode ME21N. He can simply come, he can see here, this is a create purchase order. I would be clicking it here. I would be able to create my purchase order. And if he doesn't understand anything, he has a search here. So let's say he want to search, he's having a material code, which is raw material. You just type here RAW, press enter. So this, I call it as a Google search. Okay. This is called as an enterprise search. I have given it name as a Google search because I'm so impressed and excited with this functionality. What this functionality is doing is jumping into all of the data of SAP HANA. Whatever the data is sitting here in whatever the module it is, based on the access given to user, okay, star mark. It jumps in, it bring out all the information. Even he has just typed this 3-character RAW. What kind of applications are there? There are a lot of materials bombs exist, material document exist, which has either in the material code RAW is there or in material description RAW is there. There are around 213 materials are there which where RAW has been mentioned. 34 purchase order that we want to look. Okay, in GUI, if you want to look, go ahead and see the purchase order. You need to train him that you need to go to a particular transaction. You need to put your purchase organization. You need to put your company code. Here user came, he just run RAW and he is able to understand, he is able to go through and check what are the purchase orders are there without even any training. Without any training. Okay, the user would be able to do it. System doesn't stop here. It gives you the full list of purchase order. Even if you want to filter it, I don't want to see that many number of purchase order in actual system. Maybe 1,000 of purchase order will come. SAP has also done that homework. In the left hand side, you have a filters here. You can do the filter based on the company, purchasing group, purchasing organization, year, plant, user. A lot of filter has been given. So I just want to see the purchase order which has been created in this year. I clicked it here. Okay, the list has been updated. Now I would be seeing here only the purchase order which has been created this year. User can click it here. A list of purchase order came in. You can just click the download. Purchase order has been downloaded. User interface is the key thing in SAP S/4HANA. As a consultant, we need to understand what all function features are available in the interface so that we can pass this communication to business and business can start using these kind of things. I'm having a multiple projects experience and only the 20% projects which are on S/4HANA utilizing these kind of functionality from Fiori. Why the functionality has not been used? Because even the consultant doesn't know. The 8-year, 10-year consultants worked on ECC, they don't know about these functionality. That getting data out from with the help of Fiori is so easy. There are so many of analytical applications are available out of the box. There are so many of analytics or reportings. You can just get it on the fingertips by using Fiori. So that is the key thing in SAP S/4HANA, which you need to understand, which you need to learn. Now, system doesn't stop here. I'm a user. I just typed RAW. I'm interested in my purchase order. Without training, I reach it to that part where I can click it here. I can view my purchase order. So the screens of the purchase orders would also be different here. Both kind of screens, the GUI kind of screens can also open, or these are the new screens which have been developed for Fiori. Totally new screens to create purchase order, to create purchase requisition, to display purchase order has been created, which you would be able to experience. Okay, then system say that where do you want to go? There are further application you can go from here. You can go ahead from here, create a purchase order. You just want to see the purchasing spend. You can go here. Okay, and if you want to display something else, you would be able to switch. So I have not typed much of the information so far. I have just typed RAW and I'm getting all of this information just on few clicks. So now I quickly come to my purchase order analysis report just with few clicks. So if users are self-explorative in nature, they would be able to get a lot of things with the minimized training in SAP S/4HANA. Okay, so now user here see that this is the PO net amount. So this is the kind of a reporting which you would be seeing it first time. Okay, if you have not used Fiori, or if you have used some BI tools, you would be having experience of these kind of reporting, where user is having a lot of access to play around with the data, and user can also create its own graphs. Okay, so here the PO net amount has been given. So let's say I want to check the PO net amount based on my materials. I picked it and put it in the row. A report has been generated which is showing me the materials and what is the PO net amount. The same way I can drop the different dimensions and I can create my own report, whatever thing I like it. And after doing that, there is an option you can create your own application. User can also create his own application after doing this analysis. User can also create the graphs. A chart can be created. So this is one of the chart which is there. You can also go ahead and change the chart settings. You can go to the new chart setting. You can convert your column chart to a pie chart or another chart. Or you can also have a view where basically you see both chart on the top and the table at the down. And the table can be downloaded quickly into the Excel by just clicking on this icon. So these kind of advanced functionality, advanced analytics, and in procurement is full of the new things. If I compare our different modules, SD, MM, and PP, procurement is the one module which is having the highest number of simplification. From the user interface point of view, from the new transaction which has been created in the Fiori application point of view, from the analytics point of view, or from the new function and features as vendor evaluation, classification of the vendors, or your Fiori workflows has been introduced, or the predictive deliveries has been introduced. Procurement is very enriched module now with SAP S/4HANA. Okay, I would say that if you still know the ECC part of your MM and you don't know this functionality, you need to quickly jump on whatever the course you take it from me, you take it from anyone else, but this is the high time. Due to this COVID, people has a lot of time. That is another reason we have also reduced our prices so that everyone can get benefited out of these trainings. Okay, so this is a high time for a consultant who want to upgrade it, and this is also a high time for the new people to jump in. Their operations are not running. You want to learn SAP S/4HANA to jump in. We are expecting huge demand in next 3 years because all of the ECC clients need to switch to S/4HANA. At that time, there would be a huge demand of the people who know these Fiori and S/4HANA, who know that how sourcing and procurement happens in S/4HANA.